Welcome once again to another week of my predictions for the French Ligue. This week we're at game week 2, and I hope you had a wonderful week last week, and we're going to head straight into it. Alright then, my first game is going to be Nantes versus Lille, and my prediction for this game is that I'm going to have this game end in a draw. Nantes usually does very well at home in terms of defensively are not easily broken down at home. So therefore I'm going to have this game ending in a 1-1 draw. Worst case scenario, Nantes should be able to squeeze Lille by a goal. My prediction is 1-0 for Lille versus Nantes. Sorry about that. Alright then, my score of my prediction. And so therefore, on the handicap system, you want to bet the correct score on the handicap system you go, and then you're going to have a draw here. Alright. My other prediction for this game would be, could also look in some other these here. Match win on both teams to score, and have a draw on both teams to score. Alright, so that's my predictions for this first game of the French Ligue Week 2. Nantes versus Lille. I'm expecting a 1-1 draw, and if I should go outside of that, I'll have Nantes winning by a goal. Alright. Our next game would be Monaco versus Reims. And here I expect Monaco to win because they're at home, and Monaco is a side that they have been doing really well, and they won the opening game. And so therefore I expect Monaco to carry on here, and I expect Monaco to win by at least 2 goals here. So my predicted scoreline here is going to be Monaco to win 2-1. That's it. That would mean that Monaco would win by a goal. If you don't want to bet the correct score, we move on to the handicap system and bet for Monaco to win by a goal. So Monaco winning by a goal here is this. So therefore, hence 2-1, then that would be a draw. So we're gonna have to put that there. In terms of combination bets, let's go up here. Say double chances. This is Monaco or a draw, and both teams score. Alright, so I'm going to go with this one. Monaco are Rennes, and a both teams to score. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Monaco versus Rennes game. Monaco to win by 2-1, and as it relates to a combination bet, you can go for Monaco or Rennes and both teams to score. Our next game for this game week would be PSG versus Montpellier, and PSG look like they've been doing way better this year, and so therefore not sure about the Champions League as yet. They should be doing way better this year, and so therefore I have PSG winning this game here by 3 goals at home against Montpellier. So PSG to win by 3 goals, and both PSG to win by 3 goals, and sorry about that, around past score. And then PSG to win by 3 goals, both teams to score, no. And go on the handicap system if you don't want to bet the correct score. Go on the handicap system, and we have PSG to win by 3 goals here, and this is it. Alright, so PSG to win by 3 goals, playing at home against Montpellier. And moving on to our next game, which is Lorraine versus Lyon. Lyon, well, they got off to a, some would say, exciting or surprising start last week Friday. Trust me, I really didn't expect that start to challenge them that much, and but that's how the game of football is. As it relates to this game now, I have this game ending in a draw. I think this game will end in a draw. I think this game is going to end 1-1. This game is going to end 1-1. Lyon is expected to win. So if any result outside of 1-1 draw, I expect Lyon to win. As it relates to a combination bet here, both teams a draw and both teams to score. Yes, I have a draw here as well. And so therefore, in a situation like this, I'll just go for some double chance. So here I'm going to select Lyon or Rennes and both teams to score. Alright. So those are my predictions for that particular game this weekend. Moving on to our next game, which is Acio versus Lens. Acio is playing at home, and based on how they started last week, I think most of us will be expecting them to carry on. Yes, expect them to carry on. I expect them to do well here against Lens. And so therefore this game, I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Lens, and Acio playing at home. I am going to give them the edge. I expect them to beat Rennes. Worst case scenario, this game ends in a draw. Both teams score. I will to say yes. I asked it to win and both teams to score as well. So if we're going to go down to some double chances now, because football is unpredictable, I would say Acio or Lens and both teams score yes. Alright. But my predicted scoreline is here is for Acio to win by 2-1. Would be my predicted scoreline, 2-1 for Acio. If you want to run handicap system, you're going to bet Acio to win by a goal, but if it ends 2-1, then that would be you have to bet a draw on the handicap system. So those are my predictions. Acio to win, both teams to score yes. Acio to win and both teams to score yes. Acio or Lens and both teams to score yes. Scoreline 2-1, and those are my predictions for that particular game. And so I wish you all happy betting. Moving on to the next game now, we're going to have Entree versus Angers. And so for this game now, I am expecting a draw here. It could be either 1-1 or 0-0, but I'm expecting a draw. And let's just go down to some double chances now and see what we have here in terms of scoreline. I expect a 1-1 draw. And let me see if you. So in terms of double chances, see what we have here for the double chances. I'm going to have this here. This Entree or a draw and both teams to score. Oh yes. So those are my predictions for this particular game. And so as you see here, we have some lovely odds. I asked to. No, this was a previous game. Sorry about that. My humblest apologies. But I have Entree and Angers in a draw. Worst case scenario, Angers, they have a little bit more experience, so they could pull a win out of the hat, but I don't think that's going to be the case. But this game, I expect it to be under 3 goals, most definitely. Both teams to score no, and I'm expecting a draw. Alright. Moving on to the next game, which is Stade Remis versus Clermont. And I expect Stade Remis to win here. Clermont, they haven't done really well away from home. So I expect Stade Remis to win here by at least 2 goals. And so therefore I have Remis winning here. And both teams to score. Early season tend to have goals in the Ligue. I'm going to say yes, both teams to score. That therefore means I am going to have to select a 2-1 result in favor of Stade Remis. And so therefore, if you don't want to bet the correct score, we're going to handicap system and we'll bet for the miss to win by a goal. If it ends 2-1, then we're going to have to take a draw here. And so therefore, those are my predictions for this particular game. Remis to win, both teams to score, yes. And 2-1 in favor of Remis. Alright. So our next game after Standard Remis versus Clermont is Troyes AC versus Toulouse FC. And so for this game, I am expecting well, to be honest, this one's a little bit hard to call in a sense. A little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky. Either team can win, to be honest. Either team can win, but Troyes, they're at home. Toulouse didn't. Toulouse, they have the experience based on head-to-heads. Most of the games have ended in draws. Toulouse has 2 wins. And so most of us think here that missed one might end in another draw, but I don't think so. I think we're going to get the result. And I'm going to go with Toulouse for that result. Alright, I'm expecting Toulouse to win. Both teams to score. No, I don't. Both teams are not going to score. I expect this game to be under 2.5 goals. Alright. And my predicted scoreline for this game is 2-0 for Toulouse. You can go on the handicap system and bet for Toulouse to win by a goal. Alright, Toulouse to win by a goal. And that's my predictions for this particular game. Toulouse to win. Otherwise, I think it's ending a draw. Both teams to score no. And I have Toulouse winning by 2 goals. And this game should be on the 2.5 goals, I believe. For our next game is Nice versus Strasbourg. Yeah, now Nice, they did well a couple seasons ago. Kasper Schmeichel has moved from Leicester City to Nice. And so therefore they'll have a very good goalkeeper. So I'm doing some investment, so they should improve over time. But Strasbourg had a good preseason for the most part, and I'm expecting good things from Strasbourg this season, but they'll be playing away from home. So therefore I think I'm going to go with this one to be a draw. I'm going to go with this one to be a 2-all draw between Nice and Strasbourg. Both teams to score, yes. Draw on both teams to score, yes. Double chance. Nice or Strasbourg and both teams to score, yes. That's the safest one. Can't lose with that one for the most part. Yes, you can, but yeah. 2-all draw, yeah. And so those are my predictions for this particular game. This game should end in a draw, 2-all draw. Both teams to score. Since it's a draw, it's not 2-all draw, yes. And draw on both teams to score, yes. 4.33 there. That's a good odd. Another combination bet here, Nice or Strasbourg to win. And both teams to score, yes. And the 2-all score line. $13, look at that. Alright, and so that's my prediction for the Nice versus Strasbourg game. Nice playing at home. Alright, then now we move on to the next game, which is Brest versus Olympique Marseille. And Brest will be playing at home. Brest usually does well playing at home. Marseille was off the rough start last year as it relates to away games. They weren't doing very well away, and I don't know if it's going to be a similar case this year. But in terms of head-to-head, 5 games, the last 5 games that is, Marseille, they have won 4. Nice, they have only, Brest have only won 1, and no draws. So therefore, the prediction for this game is that based on the form chart here, and based on what I think is going to happen, I think this game, I think Marseille are going to win it, but they're not going to win it by a lot. I think they're going to win by a goal. They're going to win by the odd goal in one. Alright, they're going to win by odd goal in one. Both teams to score no. And going for a double chance here. I'm going to say Brest or Marseille, both teams to score no. Predicted scoreline 1-0 in favor of Marseille. On the handicap system, Marseille to win by a goal. I am going to select them here as this. Alright. So that's what we have here. So that's my prediction for this game. Marseille to win this game by a goal. Both teams to score no. Brest or Marseille to win and both teams to score no. And see 1-0 scoreline for Marseille playing away from home. And so those are my predictions for the Marseille versus Brest game. And I wouldn't be surprised if it ends in a draw based on how Marseille turned up last season, and Brest usually tend to be a little bit tighter at home and they play a little bit better, but this is the start of the season. It's early days to make certain predictions, but let's see how things goes. And so that's the end of my predictions for the French Ligue 1 game week 2. I hope you have a wonderful week in terms of betting and raking in them profits. Continue to watch my videos and please subscribe and like and share these videos with your friends. Thank you very much.